Last time we talked about the elephant in the room, and this time we're going to talk about the skeleton in the closet. Which seems inaccurate, honestly, because neither of them were in a room or a closet. Hello, humans of the world. I'm Dawn of the World. Welcome aboard. I am very late with my chapter review once again. However, this week is my last week at my current job before moving to something much more flexible. Classes are back in full swing, however, but the fact is that from next week I should start to be able to get back to more regular uploads and shine a light on the thrills and the spills of the wonderful world of One Piece on a more regular basis. Due to the fact that I'm actually recording this after the time I would have usually wanted to have uploaded a chapter review, I'm only going to kind of touch on most of the aspects of the chapter, and this is going to be more of a discussion video about the skeleton in the rubble outside of the skull dome. It's a bit clunkier than skeleton in the closet, but I'm not going to add in a lot of multimedia this time because I want to do the edit really quickly. But if I do end up adding any multimedia, it's because I need it. It's essential. So jumping into the life of the party, the chapter opens with Fukurokuju and Raizo. I love how this whatever caption says a fiery passion, and yet they're literally just standing there like, this is fine. I would actually love it if the final blow of this battle is something that has massive effects on everyone. Like it causes the skull dome to crumble, or possibly even could result in Onigashima falling to the mainland. Or just some massive byproduct you would have expected to come from the Luffy and Kaido battle. Like there needs to be a reason this battle has gone on as long as it has, surely. I mean, the way that the paneling on this scene ends, pushing in on Raizo's really intense face, feels a little bit like something drastic could happen. And suddenly all eyes will be on this, what has been up until this point backburner battle that no one, including seemingly Oda himself, had been invested in before now. Anyway, it was really good to see Jinbei again in this chapter. It had been a while. It'd been a bit too long since we'd seen him. And I loved this. You're one of the Straw Hats. Like, yes, he is. Like, it still feels a bit like a new novelty to have him included as part of the Straw Hats. Even though I think he's officially been a part of the crew for 2 years, I think. But as far as they go, it's the same night, so like... As for what's going on elsewhere, Yamato's freezing ability seems to be the only thing that's stopping everything from going kablooey right about now. Big Mom feels like she's gonna be defeated soon, so it's all kind of happening. I don't actually have a lot to say yet regarding the titular portion of this chapter. Law and Kid versus Colossal Matriarch, Giga Granny, Biggest Mom. It's weird, I feel like I have to say Mom the American way when I say Big Mom, because otherwise it's Big Mum, and it sounds weird to me. But I would go as far as saying that Big Mom's pages are numbered, and I will definitely be sharing some more thoughts on her once her imminent defeat is confirmed. And I think because once she's down, it's only really Kaido left. Yes, there's still the CP0 thing, yes, there's still the Zunisha thing, but as far as non-third parties go, it feels as though we're probably going to wind up soon. Now I'm going back to the part of the chapter that captured most of my thoughts, which is of course this apparition that has made itself known to Zoro. As far as the general consensus goes, option 1 is that this is Brook. Brook has raided Onigashima's dress-up trunk, and this is what that has resulted in. And I have to say, he looks pretty damn dapper in this whole getup. But the question is this actually Brook? And I am erring on the side of, no, probably not. First things first, I would like to say to everyone who has said that this is Brook is, don't be skeletonist. Not all skeletons are Brook, and not all skeletons know each other. Hey Brook, one of the main characters in this book is, he's a skeleton. Do you know him? I mean, to be real, they'd get along like old chums, but anyway. My main reasons for this not being Brook come down to, well, last we saw him, he was with Robin, and he wasn't really nearby to this location. I believe they were in the basement area, or near just above the basement. They weren't really in this particular area. And while Brook is all about them pranks and that bone humor, I don't think he'd be directing it at a crewmate who is as worse for wear that I think Zoro is right now. Though yes, I am keeping in mind that this is Brook we're talking about. Oh gosh, I love Brook. For another thing, Frankie is nearby, and it's been strongly implied that he will be the one finding Zoro soon. We're shown that they're geographically very close together, so Frankie has just to look through a rather inconspicuously large hole in the wall of Onigashima, and there he'll see Zoro's wasted ass lying lying sprawled in the rubble below. I really don't feel like Oda would have both Brooke and Frankie both find Zoro unless he's trying to have a bunch of the Straw Hats reconvene in this one particular spot. Hey everyone, we're just gonna meet at the critically injured Zoro and we'll make our move from there. This is a remote control. I used to have a little model Denden Mushi, but I don't know where it went. And for the record, Zoro actually is a landmark now. There's like a statue of him, but he's not totally wasted and wrecked. Regardless of who this Nazgul is, however, Frankie is nearby and will likely be on the scene quite soon. And credit where it's due, there are quite a few points to indicate that this could be Brooke as well. For one thing, Brooke already went under disguise as a ghost/spirit earlier in Wano, so it would be a nice callback to that. And as for my earlier stance on Brooke not pranking Zoro at this point, as well as him being with Robin, this could all be combated if this is not intentionally a prank. It's a disguise put together to conceal Robin and to ward off any potential adversary who may want to snag her. I guess it wouldn't be too hard to find a robe like that laying around in Onigashima, and the scythe could have easily been picked up in the weapons cache, or if Onigashima has an agricultural department, I guess. So really, this would just be Robin and Brooke in a trench coat who are now also about to absorb Zoro into the apparatus. Who knows, by the end of this arc, Brooke may have collected all of the other Straw Hats into his robe as well. And honestly, if I were to say that I didn't want to see Brooke running around as the Grim Reaper at some point in the story, I'd be lying. Anyway, option 2 is that this could be the spiritual manifestation of Enma, a la Bleach Sanpakuto. Enma, of course, is the name of the god of the underworld, so its spiritual manifestation taking on this particular form wouldn't be beyond the realms of belief. And this ominous means of standing above their new master while swinging a scythe at him is just their way of saying hello. Then of course we have option 3, that this is the work of drugs, or rather a hallucination brought upon by the drugs or the pain or the being all messed up or whatever. Though the more I think about it, this could be the least likely of the options, as it is the least compelling to me personally. The side effect of the drug this chapter has confirmed to have multiplied the damage Zoro has sustained during his battle. So yeah, he's like real fucked up right now. So on one hand, hallucinations haven't been mentioned as a potential side effect, but on the other hand, you could say that hallucinations kind of go hand in hand with the whole deal and go without saying. There can be multiple side effects, and someone who is as messed up as what Zoro is right now, he's bound to be seeing all kinds of stuff. Maybe even death themselves. Which brings us to option 4, actually death, which is, the more I think about it, less likely than I may have initially thought, as things in One Piece are rarely as they first appear, which kind of doubles back on itself given the number of people who immediately think that this is just Brooke in disguise. But anyway, there are a few things to support that this could actually be death. For one thing, the Fire Festival is going on just down the road, and I don't know about you guys, but if I was deaf, this is probably going to be one of the highlights of the year. Like, I am not missing that party. That party is for me and for all of my people. I am not missing that bash. And for another thing, a number of chapters back, we had Basil Hawkins and his tarot cards. Do y'all remember that episode of Stardust Crusaders where the stand user of Death 13 was an evil baby voiced by Chopper's voice actor? That was a time. Also, don't forget that the Land of the Dead, unexplored a concept as it may be, is an actual place as explained by Brooke. So if this is Death and not Brooke, I think that Brooke would still be able to see them if he were on the scene. I'm not sure about anybody else though. Also possible, if this is Death, maybe Death isn't here for Zoro. Maybe they're here waiting to claim somebody else. Maybe this is Death coming up to Zoro to ask him for directions, which would be a pretty dumb move. But this is One Piece, and I guess even when it comes to death, they're all idiots. So who do you guys think this apparition might be? Is it Brooke? Is it Death? Is it something in between? Or are they one and the same? Remember to like and subscribe. I'm Dawn of the World, and I will see you next time. Later, guys.